When I was a kid and I'd get in trouble, the number one question my father would always ask me is, why? Why did you do this thing? And the answer that would piss him off beyond belief would be, I don't know. And really, in a lot of cases, what that was me being unable to articulate that, yeah, Pop, I would like some attention. Or when it came to situations with my sisters, like, I couldn't just flat out say the bitch had it coming. So he would, that's a guaranteed ass whooping. So, he'd get really upset with me when I said, I don't know. And I think that's a big part of the reason why I do try to find things out and I do try to learn as much as possible. So I know, so I have some kind of idea. But when it comes to climate change and global warming and all that fun stuff, I really don't know. And I don't think that is a bad answer. Because ultimately, and even when it comes down to the scientists, we know what we believe, but we don't know just lock them on down facts in the case. But one of the things I believe in strongest is cause and effect. So when it comes to, hey, are we as human beings contributing to, the earth heating up? I gotta believe so. I gotta believe with fracking and, oil excavation. We playing a part. We're playing a part. But as to what do I know, or how or what ways? Not I'm saying, or what effects it have that I know I can sit here and rock solidly stand behind. I can't. It's just a roll of dice. And so what we are supposed to do as civilians, not particularly in any position of power to, just change any of it, is go about our day to day and be pray for the best and prepare for the worst. At least that's what I believe. But over the last few days, like last week, I believe, they had this young lady to your right. Her name is Greta Thunberg, and they had her all over the place, man. She was all over the media, pushing, climate change and global warming, and talking about we should be panicked and we should be scared, and oh my goodness, like how dare, like we won't get to, and it really has this manipulative feel to it. At least as far as where I'm coming from, with them pressing this child, because she's a child. I mean, it's very obvious. She's everybody saw the little girl from Game of Thrones and was like, "Ooh, I want one!" And so they went out. You know the one I'm talking about. And so they went out and got them their little gay girl from Game of Thrones. So I told you guys that I was going to be doing 2 Atheism is Unstoppable videos in a row, and that's exactly what I'm doing. This one is about Greta Thunberg and her really scary look. And so without further ado, let's get into this.
In case you are unaware, we are living in the final days. A climate crisis has befallen us. This message has been delivered by a young girl from Sweden, a climate activist who goes by the name Greta Thunberg. Or as she likes to put it.
My name is Greta Thunberg.
Sweden. Like Sweden, right? Sweden, yeah. So, like, this the accent, but really? Wow. Just no B anywhere in that.
Greta is a harbinger of death. She does not pull her punches, and her ascension into the public spotlight is undeniably a sign of the apocalypse.
My name is Greta Thunberg. And I want you to panic.
This Swedish teenager.
That's the thing. Like, you want us to panic? The planet is hotter than Justin Bieber. Why are you listening to children? Why are we listening to children? Yeah, God, golly, go be kids, okay? Go, play outside, please.
Is being credited with igniting a climate revolution.
Greta has taken the world by storm. Her message is blunt and alarming, and yet it's backed up by science. In case you haven't heard her message is the following. Skull Street Check. words have never been spoken. If you are skeptical of her claims, Greta has a face she'd like to show you. Are you still skeptical? Didn't think so.
So, just in case we're clear, climate activist or every little girl in a horror film ever. So this is completely satirical, and he's hilarious, yo. Like, shout out to Devin.
If you want to make excuses about the climate or deny that there is global warming, Greta has another face for you. Recently, Greta was featured on the cover of GQ magazine. She's looking dead at the camera, pointing a finger at you, a play on the old war propaganda poster of Uncle.
Yeah, so this kid is very memeable, and so I mean, obviously, right? Just with the stills, the kid is very memeable, and that's one of the reasons. And they did a interview. I think she had a conversation with President Obama that I think went viral. I'm not sure.
Sam saying he wants you. Greta wants you too. Only Greta wants you to stop polluting. And if you are one of the few who continues to drink with a plastic straw, Greta has this face for you.
Speaking of plastic straws, they have been told to be just the worst as far as the replacement, because they use these replacement paper straws that you can't suck anything because paper dissolves. Like, paper dissolves in water. So that's what they've been trying to use, but even the Starbucks in these areas have said that, like, yo, we gotta create a whole new system for taking these things down because they're so filled with gunk and junk and not even reusable. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Once upon a time, there was a saying, "We are all Spartacus." It comes from a movie. It was before Netflix. But today, the message has changed. We are all Greta. And yet we aren't Greta. There can be but one Greta. Who is this one?
I'm sorry, but according to the Malcolm X movie from back in the day, I am Malcolm X, okay? I am not Greta. I am Malcolm X. Oh, trust me, that tactic has been used for generations.
Where does she come from?
I am from Sweden.
Why does she stare daggers at us? It comes down to this, debating whether or not climate change is something that's happening or that it poses a
Okay, Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. Doesn't Sweden have the migrant? Didn't they been doing the migrant thing hard? Like, they have a completely feminist government and stuff. And the question is that, like, why are you coming to America to lecture us when China is bigger polluters? India is bigger polluters. Speaking of which, my governor, Phil Murphy, went and got 1,200 jobs from India, and I assume in a call center. They're going to bring a call center to New Jersey. Yay! We're doing so good.
Their threat to our existence is not worth our time. That debate is over, and yet, having said that, a new debate is upon us, and that is Greta Thunberg
Greta Thunberg
a precocious and passionate advocate to address the climate crisis? Or is she a ghoulish amalgamation of every little girl ever to be featured in horror film? I invite you to review the evidence. Greta is known to wear her hair in...
Yo, real quick, Children of the Corn. That dude right there, if you want to see a fantastic performance, my man that was rocking the hat, yo, he go hard. He go hard, yo. Children of the Corn is a great film, man. It's like one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations because it's just so over the top with the children killing.
Double braids. It is an ancient Viking tradition, and yet 4chan has unearthed the fact that one of her favorite hairstyles is the following. You be the judge. Is this
Whoa! What is this?
little girl harmlessly playing with a hairstyle? Or does it represent something way more? Here is Greta wearing a rain jacket. Notice something weird about this image? So do I. It's not raining. Do you think it's a coincidence that this is the same jacket worn in the film I Know What You Did Last Summer? To quote a famous man whose name I forget, there is no such thing as coincidence. Wake up. Experts in the field of paranormal activity would tell you that when you're dealing with someone who is in a state of possession, or if you are dealing with, in fact, the spawn of Satan, Dogs and other creatures are quick to sense darkness.
You know what's weird? Is that every time I see the poltergeist scene now, I think about James Woods in Scary Movie 2. You're like, oh, where? Oh, where?
They are tuned to frequencies that the human mind is unable to perceive. Consider the following image. These dogs are clearly not on board with Greta and her agenda. They look uneasy. They recognize that they are in the presence of evil. Not convinced? I've shown you images, but now it's time to take it a step further. Let's look at the video evidence. A picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 30,000 words. If the video is taken at 30 frames per second, and then you'd have to multiply how many seconds the video is by 30,000, which inevitably leads to a very complex calculation. Bottom line, the following videos are worth a lot of words, and I suggest you pay attention. I put the case to you. Can you spot anything abnormal about the following video of Greta Thunberg?
My name is Greta Thunberg. I have not come to offer any prepared remarks at this hearing. I am instead attaching my testimony. It is the IPCC Special Report on Global Warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius, the SR 1.5, which was released on October 8th, 2018.
So here's what's happened. Sweden has groomed and pumped this girl up from likely day one to unleash upon, the world for the most part. I mean, this is very studied, very prepared. She's very calculated, and those behind her, they're very calculated as well. And so what it really ultimately is, what they're trying to do is they're trying to manipulate us. This is an emotional ploy. Oh, think of the children. Oh my goodness, we're children and we need to be heard. No, your parents need to be heard. That's it. Okay, you're a child. Stay in a child's place. Because that's the thing. Everybody's out of position right now. Everybody. The children. Okay, so hear me out. We got all these single mothers. Single mothers think of their children as friends. So they let their children in on everything, and thusly you have a lot of children just not understanding their place. And when they don't understand their place as a child, they have a harder time as an adult, And so what's happened, particularly in urban America, but, throughout the country and throughout Western civilization, is that with the enhanced welfare state and all these women raising generations of fatherless, saying kids without no guidance or direction, once somebody does come along, they can maneuver and manipulate far more easily those types and in those areas and in those spaces. And so we have now a media that is, of that generation, of these generations of, hey, yeah, let's go with the feminine, more perspective and angle. And they know that throwing a cute little girl out there, because she can be adorable, I'm sure. But by throwing the cute little girl out there, they know that they'll snag some support for what they are aiming to do by just using children, by maneuvering children in such a space. And I'm sorry, but this isn't the child's space. You should be, having a normal, like did you watch The Boys? Have a normal childhood, man, with people that love you. As far as the world goes, you should be able to trust the adults to have it. But the deal is that once you start to know these things, you get to understand that, hey, yeah, everything's more complicated than it damn near looks. Everything is. And that's one of the things that, really is infuriating, because here in the United States, we have been on the recycle thing since the 80s, man. We've been pushing this real hard. What has China and other countries been doing? Yet you're here lecturing us. Come on, man. Fall back.
I am submitting this report as my testimony because I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to the scientists.
Please understand that this video has not been edited or altered in any way. The music that you heard was in the room, in a room that had no speakers. For those of you who have watched Stranger Things, keep a close watch on Greta in the following video.
How can we get more young people involved?
Okay. Seeing how you want to take a minute there, Gretz. Parents. Everything starts at home. You sat here, destroyed the nuclear family, created a court system that is just hell on fathers, and you're like, oh well, how do we get to get more young people involved? If they have fathers that gave a shit, then the kids would give a shit. But you sat here like everybody sits around and acts like, oh yeah, the way things are going is great, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And I'm not sitting here saying that, oh yeah, you should be panicked. What I'm saying is that, like, yo, if you want to rein in children, you have to rein in parent. You have to set parents up for, the strongest future available, strongest future possible. That's how you help kids. You, like, honestly, because at the end of the day, they always got to go home. No matter what they do in school, no matter what they do at church or wherever, they have to go home. And that home should be the best that we could make for them. Or their parents should make for them. We should have those types of, so like, it should be, in some cases it is, in far too many cases it hasn't been. And the government itself has said, yeah, we'll pick up the slack. Nah, it's not the same. It's not the same thing. And you got all these people like, oh my goodness, well, work for me. Bruh, did it? Like, really did it? If you're going to sit here and say, oh yeah, you don't need any guidance, kid. Like, no. Every single one needs guidance. Preferably better guidance.
How we can get more young people involved, I think to just tell them the truth. Tell them how it is. And because when I found out how it actually was, that made me furious. So I wanted to do something about it. And
a couple of years back, Greta met with then President of the United States, Barack Obama. You're about to witness the only footage of...
Okay, so I guess it was years back, but still.
It is very good to see you again.
very good to see you.
Thank you so much for stopping by to say hello.
Thank you for having me here.
Of course. Well, you're changing the world, so we're very excited to have you. How have you found so far the Friday strikes? How'd they go in New York and how'd they go in Washington?
No, I think this is really good for Obama because it gives him what's the name? It gives him got a topic. You make a bit of an appearance, what have you. But there's something very I don't want to say those gray hairs ain't getting any darker now, are they, brother?
Very well.
Yeah.
Everyone is so nice, and all these young people seem so eager, very enthusiastic, which is.
Why aren't you talking to an American kid though? That's my question. I mean, we got plenty. I'm sure there's tons of little activists in high school and stuff like that she could be, chopping it up with. But the one from Sweden, huh? Yeah, it's that globalism.
You and me were a team, huh?
Yes, we.
Do you know about fist?
Why does this feel so awkward? Why does this feel so weird?
Okay. Do you believe in fist bump?
Yes.
You can do that.
The following clip is almost imperceivable to recognize. There is slight evidence of paranormal activity, but it's hard to spot. Make sure you're watching this in 720p and pay attention, because it's quick. Don't blink and pay attention. Watch.
It may seem impossible to pull the emergency brake, yet that is what we have to do. But right now, I think there is an awakening going on. Even though it is slow, the pace is picking up and the debate is shifting.
Oh yeah, this is clearly not edited video at all. I mean,
This is thanks to a lot of differences. And just one last thing. See you on the streets.
I gotta say, like, but despite his editing and everything else like that, everything feels so forced, you know, like that sort of whole fist bump thing with Obama, like everything feels really just staged because it is, and it's really hard to hide. Establishment, it really is.
Evidence is mounting. A video does not lie. We are running out of time, both to save our planet or to avoid the wrath of a little girl whose menacing glare stares directly into our soul, our dark souls, polluted from a sinful world in which we take part, from a world so greedy and callous that it turns a blind eye to its own destruction. The choice is yours. You can either listen to this cherubic harbinger of death and take her advice, or you can meander down the path of your dark fate and walk off a cliff like a lemming. Your life will have amounted to nothing. And as your skin burns off your body and you roast in the hellfire brought on by your own species, and your inaction, remember this face. It will be the last thing seared into your memory before your consciousness shuts off forevermore like a light switch and you enter oblivion. Remember her name, Greta Thunberg.
I decided to let that little piece rock out for a bit because, yeah. I mean, it's a really funny angle, man. Like, shout out to Atheism is Unstoppable. It's another top-notch video. You gotta respect it. But satire aside, I believe if you believe in something enough, you can probably manifest it when it comes to the supernatural stuff. Not gender, but supernatural stuff. I believe you probably could manifest because people's brains are crazy. Because, you know, people... Speaking of gender, right? So, like, people's brains can do weird things. So, it is what it is. Either ways, those guys, I think that's about it for this, yeah, audio internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub, if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute, and like, they don't really like me like that, and we can kind of tell why. And Speak, I can't even blame them anymore at this point. And Speak, let me know, what do you think in the comments? Shoot, man, day by day, I suppose. It's one of my favorite things ever said. It was like, yo, like you rob drug dealers. Like, hell, how do you get by? Like, day by day, I suppose. And that's the thing. It's a day by day thing, man. It's like, that's what life is. So if the world starts going to crap like it did in the movie 2012, are you prepared? Are you a prepper? Are you a doomsday prepper? Or are you like, you know what I'm saying, a 9-to-5er? Like, let me know what you like. How when the spirits come up and the earth cracks and the demons from hell begin to ascend upon the earth to take it back over. I mean, what's your plan? Let me know. All right, and until the next one.